just someone asked a great question. Oma Bean asked a really good question. I wanted to just, it brought up a lot of thoughts, and I wanted to share those with you all. First of all, how are y'all doing? I hope all is well. I hope y'all can hear me okay with this microphone. Now, again, I just have to let you all know I largely have to depend on astrologers who I trust to talk about most of everything that's going on in the political realm here in the United States because I am biased. I want the Democrats to win. Just want to put my truth out there instead of sitting here acting like I'm just being this objective astrologer. I am not. However, I will say I can talk about things that just make sense to me as an astrologer with, I mean, it just looks like the truth or the fact. So the truth is we have Pluto in Aquarius. This is what happened last March 2023. Pluto went into Aquarius. That is significant because wherever Pluto is, there will be massive change. And Pluto has been in the early degrees. It got to the second degree of Pluto. So, like the first 10 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees, um, it's like things are new. And that's what happened after the United States was born. Because we have to remember, I'm talking about Pluto in Capricorn. That is where Pluto was when this country was born. And then Pluto moved on out and went into Aquarius. And love or hate the United States for whatever it does, the good, the bad things about the United States, at the end of the day, something really unique happened in this country. And that's because of Pluto going into Aquarius right after. I mean, it is such a gift that hold on one second. I'm gonna close these windows because it's kind of distracting me. The cars are so loud. It's sort of a gift that um, Pluto this country because Capricorn can be very oppressive. And don't we know that, right? Don't we know that? Um, and then it went into Aquarius, and that's where, this all of the formation, the way this country is now, all of the formation started happening. Okay, so in my mind, because Pluto is in the early stages of Aquarius, and where we're headed right now is Pluto in Aquarius, in my mind, it only makes sense that we are going to see something new happen in this country. So what I mentioned to Uma Bean is Pluto in Aquarius at that 29th degree, because it's only going back to that last degree. It actually represents. This is why I just think that so it is. There's just so much upheaval going on right now. It's just so much upheaval going on. It's because Pluto on that 29th degree, and it's been there multiple times. Every time it goes into Aquarius, it's on the 29th degree. Okay, let me see. If any of the G Hive is out there, let me know. The goddesses, let me know. Because my chat just jumped up and my count just jumped up. And I'm kind of like, do I want to deal with a bunch of people I don't know today? Because I really don't. Okay, it just dropped. Anywho, hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. Um, so yeah, I is creating the upheaval, and because Pluto is going to be direct on the day of the election, it is my belief that there's still going to be a little bit of the old guard that's a part of, let's say Kamala Harris is the nominee for the Democrats. In my mind, that makes sense for Pluto and Aquarius because it's something new, it's something different. Love or hate the United States. Okay, G have in the building. Yes, I see you all. Okay, thank you. Can y'all hear me okay? Um, Love or hate the United States, this is a very unique country, and the direction that we moved in right after this country was born, um, it was different and unique. It's a country. President Biden has said it. It's a country that was built on an idea. That is different. That is unique. And so, perfect. Thank you. So, hold on a second. Okay. I'm not gonna look at the comments because it's people who I don't know who are here. It's the titles I'm choosing. I need to choose a different title to keep the crazies off. Anywho, that is where we're headed. And in my mind, when I think about MAGA, that represents the old United States. All the things that they're talking about is the old United States. It's like rolling back everything that we have done to create a society that's not perfect, but it is rather progressive, especially when we compare ourselves to other countries around the world. Love or hate the way we did it, it's just what it is, right? So yeah, I think that MAGA represents that, and I do believe, because she was asking me, Pluto in Capricorn, what is that going? What does that mean? And so let me just say this, which I don't like vocalizing, but going a new direction. I honestly believe we got two directions we could go. We could go in the direction where it's Pluto in Aquarius, or we can go in a new direction, which still in my mind, y'all tell me what you think. In my mind, it still is old to go in the direction of MAGA, because they just represent what we already had. There's a little bit of, even though this has been a democracy, we know some of us have lived in what it felt like, something that didn't feel like a democracy. I'm gonna say it that way. Um, and I think that if it's VP Harris, or I don't even know what the Democrats are doing. So let me speak to that. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. So the Democrats, to me, what makes it, this is not about the presidential election per se. It's more about the rebirthing of the United States. And because it's about the rebirthing of the United States, that means everything is, Cat Williams said it, all truths will be told this year. And so the Democrats had to do their part to create, add more to the issue, right? And, I just think about, it hasn't always just been Republican, Democrat. I remember there was the Whigs and maybe like the Whig Democrats, as other political parties. And I honestly believe the new direction, because of Pluto in Aquarius, the new direction is going to be some new parties that are born. And it's kind of like, at first it was kind of like there's the Democrats and then there's MAGA, and MAGA seems to be the threat. And I think a lot of people are going to, well, a lot of people are already not fully happy with the Democrats, but it was kind of like they had to do their part in this, this Pluto return, this rebirthing of the United States. So that is something that I see. But I do think that, let's say VP Harris is the nominee and she wins. I think that she's still, because of that Pluto in Capricorn, she's still going to have to deal with the old guard, which I see as MAGA. I think that if the Democrats win, there is definitely going to be a lot to deal with those MAGA people. But the president after that, if we stick with progressive I think the youth might kind of take over. I don't know if Barack Obama is a boomer or Gen X, but I know Kamala Harris is a Gen X. So it's kind of like Gen X's turn. And then that it's going to be, uh, maybe Zennials. That's the next group. It's not millennials. It's Zennials. There's a Zennial group in there. Millennials. Let me see here. What else do I want to talk about? So yeah, VP Harris. Oh yeah, having to deal. I think that Capricorn in that Pluto in Capricorn is in fact going to create a situation where this next president, if it is in fact a Democrat, will have a lot to deal with the old guard. They're not going to just magically disappear. Let's see here. Pluto. Okay. So the last little thing that I really want to kind of focus on is that Neptune. I talked about that the last video. I won't talk about that anymore. Let's see it. Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to put a different title because it's just people who are not a part of this community. I'll be nice here. But for those who are a part of the G Hive, I hope that this is helpful. Thank you for asking. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all know I'm all about your personal growth and development, and that's what I'm, focused on. And like I told y'all, I want to do what wasn't done before I learned astrology and stepped up more in leadership. Spiritual people should be speaking about what's going on. We should be saying things that are helping you to make informed choices, to keep your nervous systems calm. And that's what I want to do during this time. Also, I just want y'all to do this. I want us to be studious about this. Those of us who are part of the Goddess Hive. Um, I want us to go back and start looking at 2000. I think it's 2007 is when Pluto first went into Capricorn, and I really want you just to kind of see what was happening. What was going on, and I mentioned it in another video where I talked about this. I want you to go back and look at the French Revolution. I want you to look at the fall of Stalinism. I want you to look at all of that. And it will help you to understand where we're headed. And the last little bit that I will say, and this is another reason why I'm like, I think that we're headed in a new direction. Again, I'm biased. That's where I want to go. So I just got to say it. But I'm going to tell you why. Um, Pluto in Aquarius. Capricorn is oppressive. It is about all the power being concentrated at the top, coming down, right? And this is the rebirth of the nation. And it is about people, a collective coming together. And I know I've said this before, but I'm just want to say it again. This is so much about the majority of this country. What are we going to stand for? What are we going to vote for? And, once whatever that is, that's what we're going to get. That's just how I see it. I really do. But, it's like fighting for the people. Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius is about fighting for equality, fighting so that everybody has the same thing. That is what Aquarius is. Um, I also think, one of the things that I'm kind of switching a little bit to the focus on the goddess. And a lot of us have been talking about the rise of the goddess, that, feminine energy, the great mother is what I call this energy. The great mother is making her return. And, it feels like Kamala Harris, if she is in fact the person who is chosen to represent the Democrats on the ticket at the top, represents that. I just think, that it's time for all of us to like get strengthened up and to actually do something more. Because I know a lot of us do things that, we're a goddess community. We're in touch with our femininity. But I think it's important for us to do more in terms of like really standing for the goddess, really standing for women's power. Our power has been suppressed, oppressed, repressed for so long that it's just time. It's just really time for us to. I think it's time for us to make a deeper stand. And with that, for those who are looking for something to do, I just say lean into your spiritual practices, lean into your feminine energy. The lesson that I'm remembering is I'll never forget during the pandemic. I was just like, oh my gosh, everybody kept saying Biden wasn't going to win and Trump was going to win or whatever. And I just remember watching the astrology do what the astrology did. And it was amazing. It made me realize the lesson I remember was even in 2016, I honestly believe I don't really have a lot of power. And that there is this higher energy that is in operation. I remember when I first began to um, feel and sense that there are this council of wise ancestral energies. I'll tell you what, Leo season is when they meet and convene. So, yeah, I'll be talking to them quite a bit. Um, but it's kind of like I see it sort of like the movie Milan, and remember, if you've seen it, she had these ancestors that she couldn't see, but they were there, and they couldn't control the whole thing, but it was like they had some power, she had some power, and just it was like a mix. And that's how I see what's happening right now is there's a mix of power. And so, I just really encourage you to do your spiritual work, to talk to your guides, to talk to the energies. And for me, the other thing that I'm doing is just really allowing the astrology and, the ancestors, the wise ancestors. It's like I've got to trust. There's a level of trust that we have. And 2020 gave us a lot of opportunity for trust. I remember seeing all these major transits happen, and I was just like, okay, this is it. This is the end. It's over. And then something would just happen in our favor. Something would just happen in our favor. And then, you know, I couldn't see how Trump was going to lose. And I am still in awe that we had COVID, whatever people's, conspiracy theories are about COVID. The truth is that was a world pandemic, and his handling of the pandemic is actually what made people like, no, I don't want to deal with this guy anymore. I was like, something we couldn't even see. A whole worldwide pandemic conspired against this dude. I even believe on 2021, that day in January, I honestly believe that Trump and his people were going to overturn the government. And I always just kind of imagine the ancestors like, not on my watch. And they jumped into all of those people and just started making them act a monkey. And, we had that day in January. Um, there's a lot of higher powers at work right now. And so those are things that we can lean into. And, I was telling a friend, every time I deal with Trump, my faith in the universe, my faith in the great mother, it deepens. It's like, all I got is my faith in spirit and the great mother, right? The ancestors. So yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of like leaning into what I want. I'm going to continue to hold the space. If it's Kamala Harris, I think I will really calm down a whole lot. But I don't know what the Democrats are going to do. But just kind of based on what I'm hearing, Joe Biden backing her right away. A lot of other people, and I know the National Black Caucus is. I heard Pelosi, so I got to look and just verify that. Because I told y'all, Jupiter in Gemini, we got to separate fact from fiction because we don't know who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. Um, but anywho, just to see what is the momentum that's going to happen behind her. Because, I've also heard that former President Obama is not backing her. He says we should go to an open convention. I'm like, why? Why? I listened to Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats, and I'm in the House. I'm like, yeah, this is. I ain't heard you say one time he was on Al Sharpton's show. I ain't heard you say one time that you behind Kamala. I'm like, what is this about? Okay. So, yeah, we'll see. I am just gonna have to lean into the astrology. So, Pluto and Capricorn, American Pluto return, rebirthing of a nation. You were born for such a time as this. And yeah, we're the people that everyone's going to write about, everyone's going to talk about. Yep, it's us. Call on your ancestors. I've been calling on them. Call on your ancestors. Call on your ancestors. I've been calling on my ancestors, especially the ones that were living recently. Hey, I need y'all to do something, ancestors. I'm like, maybe they left and went on over there so they could help from the spiritual world. Alrighty. To all the goddesses who watched this, I hope that this has been helpful. I had a great time in the sauna. I just laid in there and, let myself detox a little bit. I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all take care. I love you all so much. I send you a big hug. And yeah, I'll be making a video soon to talk about the astrology for the week. Take care. Peace and love.